Radhe Krishna, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha. Welcome to the Bhakti Rahasyam episode number 44. Swami Ramanuja was a great saint who opened the doors of devotion to everybody, irrespective of caste, creed, or other such social barriers which were prevalent and unfortunately are prevalent today as well. But he did this 1,000 years back. He was such a great revolutionary. According to him, anyone can have devotion in their hearts towards the Lord, and by total surrender, one can obtain the peace and happiness in life. In front of such a great revolutionary saint, Thirukkolur Penpillai is narrating her Bhakti Rahasyams or the Bhakti secrets, and this great saint is listening to those comparisons with rapt attention and focus. In our today's Bhakti Rahasyam, Thirukkolur Penpillai is comparing herself with a great devotee who finds a mention in our great scripture Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, this is the third consecutive Bhakti Rahasyam where Thirukkolur Penpillai is drawing her inspiration from Srimad Bhagavatam. The first one was the story about Gajendra, the elephant which was trapped by the crocodile. The second one was the last episode about Kuni or Trivikra, who gave sandalwood paste to Lord Shri Krishna. In our today's episode, again from Srimad Bhagavatam, this is about a devotee who was a flower seller or a florist. Now, this is in a way in continuation to our last episode, where the sequence of events, if we see, Lord Krishna entered the city of Mathura. He saw a lady, that is Kuni or Trivikra, who was carrying sandalwood paste. He wanted to have sandalwood paste applied on his hands, and he addresses this lady Trivikra as "Oh beautiful one," and post that conversation he gets the sandalwood paste applied across his hands. Now, once the sandalwood paste was applied, he blesses Kuni, then he moves forward. Now he has a desire to get adorned by garlands, flower garlands. It so happens in the same city of Mathura, there was this devotee who by profession used to make flower garlands and sell to various people needing those garlands. Now he was a devotee of Lord Krishna. How did he get his devotion? This is an interesting story. The gopis of Vrindavan used to go on selling milk and milk products like curd, butter to anyone who needed them. While going around doing their selling duties, they always used to talk about Lord Krishna, his beauty, his divine pastimes. So, such experiences created a desire in the minds of people who just heard those discussions which the gopis used to have. Now, this florist was one such person who used to continuously listen to these stories which were discussed amongst the gopis. Now, he was also doing business, so we can assume that there would have been a marketplace where he would go on selling the flower garlands, and in the same marketplace the gopis would be coming and going, selling their dairy products. So such discussion used to frequently be heard by this florist. Now in his heart there was a deep desire, a deep devotion created for Krishna, and he felt he had this desire that one day he should make a beautiful flower garland for Krishna and offer it to him whenever he gets a chance to meet him. So he went on carrying his duties very meticulously, and he did it for Krishna. Like, he used to select the best of the flowers. He used to carefully remove the thorns which would be present in some flowers. There would be some insects which would be on those flowers, so he would carefully remove them without causing any harm to them, because for him, even though he was supplying the garlands to whoever wanted it, yet for him each garland he made was dedicated to the Lord. So in his mind it was as if all the garlands are made for Krishna, and since he was in the business, he was supplying those garlands. So that way the products ended up with a lot of beauty, and they delighted the customers, whoever purchased the garlands from this florist. Now when Krishna and Balram entered Mathura, had the sandalwood paste applied, Krishna thought that he should honor the devotion and the prayers of this florist devotee. So he enters a particular street where the house of this florist is located. So he, along with Balram, goes to the entrance of the house, and Krishna calls out, "Oh Sudama, I have come to check on your garlands." Now this is not the same Sudama who was Krishna's friend who offered him rice flakes, but this florist also shared the similar name as Krishna's friend Sudama. Now this florist came out hearing his name, and he was completely elated to see Krishna and Balarama standing at the entrance of his house. He invites the Lord and Balarama lovingly into his house and offers them something to eat and drink. Lord Krishna goes around the house examining the garlands very carefully, admiring them, but he ensured that he did not make a direct request to the florist to garland him, because Lord Krishna knew the prayer of this true devotee, and he just went around as a witness. Now whatever flower garlands Krishna admired, he complimented the florist about the beauty. Sudama immediately took that garland from the hook and offered it to Krishna. Now Krishna went around doing this. Some garlands he took it on himself. Some garlands indirectly he used to make statements like, "Oh Balarama, this garland would look beautiful on you." The moment he uttered such a statement, the florist would take that garland off and put it on Balarama. So this way, Krishna and Balarama had almost all those garlands which the florist had made in order to supply it to somebody else as a part of his business. All those garlands came around Krishna and Balarama. The florist did not worry even for a moment that, oh, this is a case of lost business. For him, every garland he made, it was dedicated for the Lord, and today he got a chance to offer it personally as well as physically to Lord Krishna and Balarama. Now, Krishna was deeply moved by this act. He asked Sudama to ask for a boon. Sudama said, "O Lord, what boon do I ask? I had always prayed for this day when you would come and I would get a chance to offer these flower garlands to you. And today I have got the chance. So all my prayers have been answered. I seek nothing." But Lord Krishna, he wasn't going to relent with this. So he blessed the florist for material success till the time he lived, and after that he granted the boon of liberation, boon of moksha to this florist. Now, this florist Sudama has been a great inspiration to many saints who lived after him, because the other saints who followed Sudama as an example, they got a confidence that yes, this was one of the techniques to please the Lord and obtain moksha, that is, making a flower garland dedicated and devoted to the Lord is one of the means to salvation. So we have even some Azhwars who took this as a profession to grow flowers in their garden and offer those flowers specifically for the Lord's service. So this was the incident which caught Thirukkolur Penpillai's attention. This was the divine comparison, Bhakti comparison she started making, that even flowers are available throughout her place. Yet she never got that mentality, she never got that thought that she could also make a beautiful garland regularly for the Lord's service. So she considers herself to be very inferior. She feels she doesn't have any devotion at all, and there is no point in staying in this devotional land of Thirukkolur. So that was the Bhakti secret, where her statement is, did I offer flower garlands like the florist? She doesn't name Sudama in the Rahasyam statement. She says like the florist. Now, for us, again, we can also draw inspiration from this florist Sudama in the activities we do in our life. What did he do? He was doing, or he was in a particular profession of making garlands. He mentally offered it to the Lord with the desire that the Lord should come and accept it one day. And that happened. The prayers were answered. His heart was pure. He did these acts selflessly, and yet he was doing it as a profession. So, say people engaged in various professions, like say a painter, an artist, he or she can definitely make a painting where the mind is dedicated to the Lord. A singer can go on singing songs for the Lord's sake, for the Lord's happiness, and yet get devoted to the Lord. Let us take the case of, say, a person who stitches clothes or stitches shoes. He or she can also do that particular act for the Lord. Thereby, whatever we do in our lives as a regular activity, it becomes a devotional service. It becomes a devotional offering for the Lord, where He happily accepts it and blesses everyone. Now, Bhakti is not something which we should be waiting for our retirement years. Once we come out of our official and professional commitments, business commitments, that is the time when we will get to do devotion, to do bhakti. No, bhakti or devotion can be something which can be cultivated, which can be practiced in the prime years of youth, so that once the age towards retirement approaches, there will not be any void, there will not be any vacuum as to what activities one should engage the mind in, because the foundation has been built very strongly in the prime age of the youth. So that was all from our current Bhakti Rahasyam. Stay blessed, stay devoted, and stay tuned for our next Bhakti Rahasyam. Radhe Krishna, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Shrimate Ramanujaya Namaha.